Okay, so while I have this right-hand drive, an A+ Mini, this is a chance to kind of show a very standard version of the rod change linkage and how wobbly these things can be. And if you look at the neutral gate with the standard ratio, you know, it's not horrible for a lot of cars. I mean, that's pretty wide when you consider that it's only a 4-speed. You know, it's pretty sloppy. But where a lot of the extra slop comes in as these things get older and as every Tom, Dick, and Jane hammers them, is the mounting of the actual shift unit for this rod change, which is a little box under here screwed to the floor on rubber mounts, like you'd hang mufflers. And those get wobbly and weavy, so you can really see how much extra wobble. That neutral gate is a good 6 to 8 inches. That's kind of ridiculous. And then you lift up and reverse is even, you know. So that's what your standard rod change mount in a very normal Mini. You can find all the gears. Sure, you got good leverage on them. But that is a big, sloppy H pattern for a little 4-speed. You know, you compare that, and we've shown some clips, and I'll do some exact comparisons. Our green 66 there with the rod change that's got the short throw kit in it, as well as a very tight mounting to the floor, perfectly shimmed, no goofy preload in the rods where it goes to the engine and has that little U-joint in there. And I'm telling you, the whole shift pattern would fit inside this wobbly neutral on a standard A+. You're so precise. It is possible to dial these in very, very nicely, as we've shown. She's convinced. I know it. So as we continue dialing it in, after getting it running and driving, I said I'd show some of the tricks that I employ here. I mentioned we of course changed this over to a rod change from the remote, so the hole's a bit awkward shaped. But you can see now we've got very tight gears, and I actually installed the lower plate, so lifting up selects reverse. And it falls back in. Ah, you found your gum. So there, improvements. And speaking of which, here we are in the green 66 Cooper S. We just installed another one of these in Aaron's Mark 1. And here's this one here that I've been using for a long time. I mentioned the wobbly floor mounting. No such problem here. That's neutral. This is so precise, even compared to a modern car. And you know, a lot of people immediately jump on, well, why don't they all do them that way? It's harder to drive. You know, I bet you if the Mini had been set up this way in the first place, you'd have more complaints than you would glowing praise about that sort of linkage. Most people need to be able to shift while they're doing 10 other things, and a precise setup like this is more demanding. Keep that in mind. Now this is a real Cooper S, so the hole here was for the remote gear shift. I only have a small hole bringing it through the carpet, but you can see that this thing on the very short rubberized grommet mounts, they're similar, but they're actually the stiffer ones that you use on the exhaust for the Minis. But that puts the unit right close to the floor. But there we have it. You can go from a real stick in the mud. I mean, what was that? You could move that standard A+ a good foot in many directions. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say a 5-inch circle is where all your gears can be found. Again, this is a left-hand drive car. I'm sitting over on this side. Many times I just have my hand here and I find myself shifting like this. It's like a finger pull. So yeah, indeed, these can be set up incredibly nicely.